Hello everyone, how's it going? This is Paul from Flutter. Today I'll be talking about building components for our food delivery app. So as you can see in this design here, you can see we have some repeated components here that we are going to be building on our project, and I want to talk about it today. So I have copied this particular screen, which is the welcome to app screen here, and I'm going to disintegrate these components, and we are going to build according to how these components are. So the first here you can see is the button, and we are going to talk about building the button. And because we have this button as repeated widgets here, we are going to make it reusable, in the sense that we can use it on any screen and it do the tasks we want. And as you can see here, also we have this other button which is quite the same, and you can see we have this shape that looks like an amoeba, and you can see we have this oval shape. So we are going to talk about building this component, each and every one of them, into a usable Flutter widget. So here I'm going to export this to SVG, and I'm going to use a tool called Fluttershy Maker. So this tool is being developed by Retro Portal Studio, that's from Paras Gen. And what this does, it if you should select a SVG file here, is going to convert that SVG file to a custom paint widget. That means you can use it on your Flutter app. So I'm going to select that SVG file I have here, this one that has this shape, and I'm going to open that, and I'm going to get the code. So it's going to generate me the code, and I'm going to save that to our Flutter project. And here in our Flutter project, which is running currently, we have this folder called components, and in this component folder we can just create a file called amoeba. Don't know if I spelled that correctly, but can call it amoeba paint and .dat, and we can just paste this here, and we will import material app here, material package. So we have this our paint class, and also you can see this. I'm going to just clean this up a little with stateless widget, then I'll explain how this is being done. So we are going to have this here, paste it here. We are going to have what we call going to have size here, and we are going to import size from our theme. If you don't know about this theme class, you can check our previous video about theming your app, and you'll get the size of this. Now here we can get the width of this, and we can also get the width of this. Now what this does, it get the width of what we actually provided it, and give us exactly and make it responsive. So that's what this does, and we are going to call this amoeba paint. Amoeba paint, that's what we are going to call it, and we are going to copy this to the constructor here. What else we are going to do is the oval shape. So we are going to export that oval shape and do the same thing, and we are going to choose that shape, and we get the code. So it auto generate the code, and we copy that, and we create a new component called oval paint. Let's call that oval paint, and we are going to create that, and we are going to paste this in here, and we are going to import the Flutter package, material package here. And what else we are going to do here is for us to create a stateless widget called oval paint, and this is what's going to be called. And we are going to just copy this custom paint widget here and return it here, and we're going to do the same what we did for the amoeba paint here, and we are going to pass it here and pass the width. We are going to pass the width first. We are going to import that theme class and pass the width here, and we are going to do same for this width as well. What next we are going to do now is on the design is going to be the scaffold. So the scaffold is the main component that other component is going to rest on. So that's a very important component. I'm going to create it here on the components folder, and I'm going to call that app scaffold. So I'm going to call that app scaffold, and this is going to be a stateless widget, and what next we are going to do is for me to create I'll import the material package, and also I'll pass in a required body, a required parameter called body, and this is going to be a widget, and this is going to be required. And I'm going to create a new scaffold here, the one from Flutter, and we are going to get the body here, and I'm going to get the container here. So this container will help us to create that gradient fill which we have here, as you can see in the screen. What else we are going to do, we are going to get the size of our screen and using the theme class, and we are going to get the size from the context, and here we are going to pass in the width, we are going to pass in the height, we're going to pass in all of that, and we are going to have decoration which is called box decoration here, and we are going to have this gradient fill, and this is going to be a const, and we are going to have this radial gradient, and this is going to take in colors, and these colors we will get them from our app theme here. And one more color that we are going to get from here is the middle gradient color here. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to create a component here and use the color picker here to pick that color, and so we can use that. So it's going to be called app theme dot blacklight. So let's call it that way. I'm going to create that variable there, go there, and I'm going to create it like this, and it's going to be a color type. And to create a color, you can just use 0xff and you paste in the color code, and you convert this to a const. So this is going to be a constant file, and here you have your color. So we can still give it a type here, and let's give it a type here, and we can use this in our color here. So you can see it's all okay. I'll need to call this on where this can be previewed, and that would be in our main.dat here. And in our main.dat, you can see that we have this home widget which returns a scaffold that we are going to change to app scaffold. So that's our current widget, and here you can see that it takes a parameter that is called a body. So we are going to pass in a container here in this body, so we can preview this, and you can see that we are having all of it all coming up. So you can see that we need to take this to the other gradient. So let's do that. Let's go back to our app, and we are going to just switch the list here, and you can see that it's coming up. So what else we are going to do here is for us to increase the radius of the radial gradient. So I'm going to increase this. I don't know what was the default value. Okay, it was 0.5. I'm going to increase this to 1.5, and you can see it's all come up now. The next is going to be the button here.